18 Sergeant Central. 19 Sergeant, check.
Flowing down here in the middle of the lanes. You see the large number of units here on scene. Opening that door now, they're going to have that passenger get out. What they typically like to do.
You are watching Police Chase.
There is, his emotions after the crazy stuff we saw earlier on the on-ramp, getting on and off and then off again and then blasting through traffic and red lights. It kind of get you a little shaken up, and maybe the officer as well. So maybe that's why we're a little more subdued at the moment, and we'll just have to wait to see what happens. It's going to be really difficult to get any spike strips out here just based on the way he's driving. Yeah. Yep. Looks like he's clapping his hands. Yep. Very, very bizarre, but at least glad to see that he didn't try to use those pedestrians or anything to his advantage and swerve around him and while they were in the intersection or anything like that. So yeah, but I mean, so we've gone from highly dangerous and flying all over the place at high speeds, 90 miles an hour on and off the freeway and blasting through stop signs, to now we're only at 20 miles an hour. He's clapping, and Fontana PD seems content at the moment to just kind of see where this goes, maybe see if this person's headed somewhere specifically. Sometimes we see that, them driving into neighborhoods. Sometimes they want to surrender in front of friends or family. We just have no idea, other times we see them go 100 miles an hour and then stop and give up. It's all just completely random. But we are in the city of Rosemead, kind of on the border of El Monte, with a suspect that I suspect is, might be in a pretty troubled state right now. Yeah, just about 30 miles an hour on. We're on a pretty major street again. We're on Valley Boulevard, this street that pretty much runs across almost actually the entirety of the San Gabriel Valley, a major thoroughfare. Lots of shops out here, lots of lights, lots of pedestrians. So they may be, Fontana PD may be loath to attempt anything out here. If he does go in circles, maybe we'll see spike strips or something like that. But it seemed like, for a bit they were wanting to do a pit maneuver, and I'm wondering if they were authorized to do it, and then they saw the way the guy behaved, and then it's very possible the watch commander said, back off, stand down on the pit maneuver. Very, very possible that happened when they saw how dangerous that got. He did. He had a Green Bay Packers flag there, Pat. My favorite football team, go Pack. And this is what happens as some of these, go on and they're watching our chase coverage. They want to come out and see themselves on TV, or maybe make an advertisement. Of course, a lot of folks get excited for football coming back here in just about a month or so. So obviously a Packers fan, and yeah. Yeah. No, I saw. Yeah, yeah, and at least he stayed up on the sidewalk and didn't get too involved like some of these spectators we see just get way too close to the police activity going on. So yeah, and the longer this drags on, and if he just continues on slow speeds in these neighborhoods, we're likely to see more antics like that. Yeah, we're just kind of strolling back to the east here. Yeah, yeah, and then might be a mud flap or some of the innards of the bumper that ripped off that are just kind of hanging on there. But just and still, not sure what caused that bumper to become dislodged in the first place. Just kind of based on what we were saying, I was thinking that it might have been a pit maneuver, not likely to be a spike strip. This has been on the freeway, I think, almost the entirety, so it would have been extremely difficult for the police to employ a spike strip at this point. But we might have a watch commander who's watching this right now, just saying, you know what, you guys need to chill out and just let this guy go where he's going to go. And oh, here we go. We got LA County Sheriff's deputies now. Right. So they may have just been privy. Yeah, these are sheriffs. So it's unclear if this officer just happens to be here, or if they're privy to everything that's going on. I'm sure as these get into different jurisdictions, you're going to have the authorities at least tell other agencies that they're in their jurisdiction, and then you'll have for instance, maybe El Monte asking if Fontana wants help on this, and Fontana's basically seems like they don't want anybody's help on this, but they're still going to make El Monte privy to what's going on in their jurisdiction. And then you saw that deputy might have just been there by coincidence because he saw him speed off, or not speed off, but he's just right up there ahead, so he may have no idea that any of this is going on. Right. Yeah. And then we have another person here. If they have any idea what's going on, or kind of looks like it. It almost looks like the person on the side might be motioning to the person inside. Yeah. So just kind of trending back to the east here on Valley Boulevard, and not sure if he's trying to avoid the traffic on the freeway or it's just kind of dragging this out. I mean, he did call in and say he's been out for a while. Supposedly he called 911 and said that very thing. So it's anyone's guess what all is going on with this. But a stolen vehicle pursuit, got pretty aggressive there with Fontana PD with a couple of attempted pit maneuvers, and then after he sped away, we've seen Fontana just kind of chill out with this one as well. I don't even think that they have their lights and sirens on at this point, but they're right there on the ground. And they're in the air as well. And to our knowledge, it's still just Fontana's Eagle 1 helicopter that is overhead this. Yeah, yeah, or perhaps drive into a cul-de-sac or something, and basically run himself into a dead end. That's a lot of times they may just wait for the suspect to do that or to run out of gas. And we did hear, thanks to our assignment desk, that it was, my suspicion was correct, Pat, that it was a attempted pit maneuver that caused the damage to that bumper. So we know that they've already tried to do that once. It's unclear if that was back on Surface Street. Well, it was most likely on a Surface Street, although it sure looked like we saw what was setting up to be a pit maneuver actually on the freeway. Yeah. Okay. I don't hear Pat. I'm on Freak 6. I don't hear Pat, though. There we go. I got it. I got it. Yes, that's right, Pat. So we are on Tyler Avenue now, and I think we're technically an unincorporated area of the San Gabriel Valley, kind of on the edge of El Monte. So we started in Fontana, we came west on the 210, south on the 605, west on the 10, and that's where we saw things get pretty aggressive with Fontana police. They've been the only ones engaged in this pursuit. They have not wanted to hand it off to CHP either in San Bernardino County or in LA County. So even though they're way out of their jurisdiction, they are the ones that want to handle this from end to end. And since we saw some kind of craziness around the 10 in Rosemead, getting on and off the freeway, and a couple of attempted or pit maneuvers, it looks like they were setting up for pit maneuvers. After none of that worked out, we've seen things really get subdued, both with the suspect and with Fontana PD in pursuit. And we went from blowing stop signs and red lights and driving all over the place to really subdued driving and stopping at red lights, stopping at stop signs, the police just kind of following this one. So everything is really calmed down at this point. So certainly good news for the public, but bad news is that this guy just does not want to give up. He's been making some weird motions, clapping his hands. We confirm it's just one person in the vehicle right now, but Fontana PD, they tried that one pit earlier, it ripped the bumper off, and they were setting up for a couple of others that didn't work out, and so now it seems like we're just kind of in this holding pattern and seeing where this one's going to end, Pat. Yeah, just a lot of agitation, a lot of fidgeting, a lot of moving around. You can see, look at this guy right here. If he's talking to him, maybe he's like, "Hey, do you not understand the police are trying to pull you over? What's going on, man?" All too often we see the people trying to get involved in these. But yeah, we saw him clapping earlier. Looks like maybe he was rubbing his forehead, or maybe he's talking on a cell phone. But he is the only person inside this vehicle, and as we are now back on Ramona, now headed back kind of westbound. So now we're starting to kind of do a loop around, and we'll see if CHP, or sorry, I keep wanting to say CHP, but Fontana Police, if we see them kind of seeing a bit of a pattern here, maybe they can get either some help from El Monte, maybe a unit that might have a spike strip, or if they have any spike strips on board, and maybe they can strategize to bring this pursuit to an end that way. But then again, we saw how this guy behaved when Fontana got pretty aggressive with trying to bring this to an end. He started driving really crazy, endangering a lot of people, and so now they've kind of calmed down. And how is this suspect going to react if they spike his tires? He's likely to maybe go crazy again and start flailing all over the place on the roadway, and that could present a different hazard. So right now we're just having to kind of see how this goes, but we've done a full loop around as we are northbound on Santa Anita and coming back up to the 10 freeway. He's stopped actually. Looks like he was letting this person look. All of a sudden he's turned into like the most courteous driver here, yielding to let somebody make a left-hand turn. I mean, a total 180 from the way this person was driving earlier. So it's just very bizarre behavior all the way around, and it sure seems like everyone knows what's going on. Now we have a motorcyclist who looks like he's engaging with this person, and here we go again with the window down, trying to get another look. Looks, I couldn't tell if he has a hat or long hair. Looks like he's wearing a mask though. So at least getting the memo from LA County about wearing masks indoors. But yeah, and then we got somebody down here who's waving to us. So here we go. As a lot of, as we say, when these the longer these go on, the more likely they are to kind of turn into a circus with the public. Which, yeah, exactly. So we saw a guy running out earlier with a Green Bay Packers flag. The big news today, of course, is Aaron Rodgers' return to training camp. Us Packer fans are very excited, so can't blame that guy for wanting to get that out there. Yeah, I'm sure Jim Hill will have plenty to say later on the Sportscast. But northbound on Santa Anita, and we'll see if he's going to rejoin the 10 freeway. No, he's going to be making a turn here back onto Valley Boulevard. So we've made pretty much a complete circle here, Pat. Yeah, I could tell if he's, well, yeah, hopefully you're not going to see half a peace sign here, but just waving the hand out the window, making different gestures here. So extremely bizarre behavior, and really just kind of cruising along here now. I haven't even seen him getting above 20 miles an hour ever since things calmed down here about 15, 20 minutes ago. And see if we're just going to be making another turnaround and now back onto a smaller street. Aha. Yeah, just kind of cruising along, and he's got his hand out the window. He's giving a thumbs up sign, all kinds of different motions to people around, and just kind of getting a little chatty with some people on the sidewalk. And now I'm curious. I mean, we saw the long hair, and it did. There was something kind of off about it. And so someone says maybe they're wearing a wig, and that is a distinct possibility. Wondering if they're trying to disguise the way they're looking, or what's up with that. But and having a mask on, so perhaps a bit of a disguise for this driver. That, I mean, we're getting another look at the face. Yep, waving to people, just kind of trying to drag this out, and it's just so many of these pursuits. You have these suspects that, the jig is up. We've got units right behind you. We've got people in the air watching you from the air. You're not getting out of this. So what is the point if you're just trying to aggravate the authorities as much as possible, or what the end game is for this person? We're always obviously wondering what is going on in their head. But yeah, really chatty, really agitated, moving back and forth. Might be holding a phone in his hand. It's unclear at this point. it's very possible. Yeah, I mean, you know, we had heard that this person was calling 911 and was kind of chatty with them and saying that they had been on the run for a while. That was one thing that we, one, you know, odd bit of cross talk that we had heard about this. So maybe, you know, he said who he is and what the deal is with this. It's also possible that whoever is, you know, in charge of this pursuit, the watch commander, if they saw, they were watching CBS when they had those pit maneuver attempts and saw how it was getting pretty dangerous there. There looked like there was a setup on the freeway. There was one right as they were getting off of the freeway. They saw him speed away, you know, getting around traffic, you know, and going through stop signs and nearly colliding with innocent people. And it's very possible that the watch commander just said, you know, back down, no, you know, cancel pit. Don't try to do that. It's very possible that that's what happened. We know that this person got out of at least one pit maneuver because that's what knocked the bumper off when that bumper was dragging for as long as it was. We did find out that there was already one pit maneuver done. Obviously, it didn't succeed if it didn't spin them all around or all the way around, or if they were able to get out of it and continue. Whatever happened, we know that one pit maneuver was attempted. It did not succeed. But we've been stopped for quite some time now, and you see Fontana PD, well, they're opening a door, closing a door. It's kind of an awkward situation here. You got a lot of pedestrians out here. Yeah, and you got a lot of cameras, so yeah, this is getting pretty strange. Oh yeah, very very possible. Very possible. We've seen. Go ahead, Pat. Yeah, I'm actually thinking that myself too. Unfortunately, this is as close as we can zoom in, but at the moment, this actually does look like a woman that is behind the wheel. It seems like every time I say it's a man, it ends up being a woman, and every time I say that there's one person in the car, there ends up being multiple. But okay, they're going to pin him in right here. Okay, so now there is no escaping, and here we go. Doors are locked. Out with he just threatened to break the glass. So all of a sudden, now here we go. After kind of getting subdued, now we've got him in custody, and just like that. Yeah, so I don't know if that's it looks like it is indeed a woman, Pat, and after everything we saw, just like that, authorities, you know, they were obviously setting this up. They saw that, you know, she was stopped here for a really long time, and so they were able to get another officer come right in and get in front of them, and that was perfect opportunity for them to bring this to a sudden, a very abrupt and safe ending. Yeah, we're at Main and Santa Anita, so I believe this is in El Monte proper.